everybody. It's Safi and Marco dishing out on the movies today because we are doing our final Peter Boyle movie. And
are you glad, Safi?
Yeah, I'm just a little surprised. After seeing that X-Files episode, I thought he must have been in several movies with maybe a starring role,
Yeah.
but I guess he just never got the opportunity, or I don't know. But our last one is the most current. It was made in 2001, and it's called Monsters Ball.
Ugh.
And I thought, for some reason, I got this confused, and I thought this was a movie about boxing or something with that short girl who was on Star Wars. Anyway, I have no idea how I got it mixed, but I've never seen the movie. I knew Halle, and then I remember Halle Berry is in it because she apparently got an Oscar for her performance as best actress. Best actress. So there aren't in the movie, if you wanted to do a best actress, another from the movie, there was no other actress who outdid her.
Really?
No, not in this movie.
You didn't like the hooker?
Oh, Marco, for heaven's sakes. So anyway, I don't know what to say. In this movie, it was like the rest.
Well, let's just go. Okay, I'll go through the plot.
I'll let Marco do
that.
So,
this movie is about a family of correctional officers, and you have Peter Boyle. He is retired, and he's
older.
He's a racist. He's basically like Joe. And in fact, you can look at this movie like a sequel to Joe, and it kind of makes it better because the Joe movie is much better than this crap. So, and then you have Billy Bob Thornton, and he plays the son.
The older son.
The son of Peter Boyle.
That's right.
And then you have Heath Ledger, and he plays the son of Billy Bob Thornton, which was weird because Safi and I both thought that he was his brother the whole movie.
Which I still keep thinking he is. It just doesn't make sense.
Because to me, it really did not feel right that he was his son at all. Like,
no.
It would have been better if they were brothers, actually. Like, I didn't understand why they did that. That was weird. I didn't like that. And then you have, and so they work, Billy Bob Thornton and Heath Ledger work at the prison, and they put what's that guy's name? P Dad Diddy Dizzle?
They changed his name about 10 times, so I don't know what it's Puff Daddy.
Let's just call him P. They execute P, and
we don't ever find out what P did either.
Yeah, this movie is very emotionally manipulative because why don't they tell you what he did? Because they want you to feel sorry for him. And obviously, I don't like the death penalty at all.
No, it's evident why anybody wouldn't want it.
And in fact, it's more expensive than keeping people in prison for life, contrary to people saying that they don't want to spend all their money keeping them in prison. Well, it's cheaper for someone to be just kept in prison. So I don't but they purposefully don't tell you what he did in order to make you feel sorry. And it did not work on me because I just didn't care. Like, I'm sorry, but I guess he was fine, but it's like, it was this weird thing where you feel like, why are they hiding what he did? Why aren't they telling you, oh, he killed someone, it was an accident, or he robbed a place and killed someone? They don't even tell you anything.
But he told his son, his wife is Halle Berry, and his son is this heavy-set little boy.
Fat guy.
And he tells him, I think the little boy says, why can't you come home or something like that? And he says, I'm a very bad man.
Yeah, which, who knows what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Did he I don't know. Like, what does that mean? This is he's getting executed, and it's like,
in the electric chair.
How can I feel sorry for him if it's not even like an honest thing about what he did? Like, there was that movie that I watched last year with Kevin Spacey called what was it called? The Life and Thoughts of David Gale, about Kevin Spacey, and he is framed, quote unquote, for murder, and he is going to be put to death. And it's ironic because he is the biggest proponent in America against the death penalty, and so it's an irony. And then, of course, that movie was really, really good. I liked that movie a lot, and that was such a better, because you knew that he didn't do it. Of course, there's a twist at the end, but you knew the crime. You knew why he was getting put to death, quote unquote. And so it felt more honest, whereas this movie, they don't tell you, so it's like this weird feeling that you have where it's like, this is kind of weird. Like, okay, he draws and he's nervous about getting executed. So what? Like, that's not character. And then you have Halle Berry, and Halle Berry loses him, of course, and she gets mad at her fat son for being fat, even though she's like 70 pounds or something, and he's like 500 pounds, which was really weird.
He does probably weigh more than her.
And then what happens is both characters suffer in the movie, Halle Berry and Billy Bob, and eventually they fall in love, and that's it. And I'm just trying to avoid spoilers, I guess, because, when I read the summary, I didn't read anything about what happens to them in the movie. So let's just talk non-spoilers. I was very mixed about the movie. I thought that it was fine. It was nothing to write home about. It was another Peter Boyle movie that was just like,
yeah, but
really?
Tell them about him wanting to make another movie in response to that Joe movie.
Well, I did in the Joe review, but he wanted to make a sequel to Joe where he has a son, and it's about him and his son. And so I think that if this movie, if you look at it like Joe 2, it actually works a lot better than it does as Monsters Ball, whatever the fuck that is. So I think that people should all look at this movie like Joe Part 2, because that's what it feels like. Peter Boyle's character is basically Joe, but less likable. He's Joe, but like a retarded old man version of Joe. And Peter Boyle was fine. He was probably, I don't know. He hardly was in the movie at all. And he really had probably the worst performance out of the ones, because he just was hardly in it. He was basically like an afterthought. And that's what confused me, Safi, is that I saw his name. I mean, this is one of his most known for things on IMDb. Like, why? Why would you think about Peter Boyle when you think about Monsters Ball? When you have Billy Bob and he stars in the movie, it's all about Billy Bob. I wouldn't have picked this movie if I knew it was about Billy Bob. And then you got Halle Berry. It's about her too. It's not about Peter Boyle at all. So I was really kind of like, just, another bad Peter Boyle movie where he's hardly even in it. The movie was just, ugh.
Well, I don't know how you could say that he said, he's right about this. He was not on screen that many times.
He had an impact, so what?
But he did, every time he was on there, he said something, just about every time, that was impactful. In other words, you think, well, Billy Bob has to be a racist too, because when these little boys that are African American. They came near the property because they were talking to his son.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, which I keep thinking it's his brother. I can't get it out of my head.
Let's just call him the little brother, because he really should have been the little brother.
Yeah, that casting was not right.
Yeah.
The way they did that. And it wouldn't, like Marco said, it would not have been hard to make him his little brother.
Yeah, I don't know why that would have been a problem.
It just seemed like Billy Bob was too young to... There's Kitty. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Safi, do the damn review. Who cares?
There's no food there.
Do the damn review.
Anyway, the boys came on there. They're really, I guess, were on the road or something, and they were talking to the brother, and the father, of course, says, he says all this racist crap.
What are those M-words doing outside?
And
what are they doing in my yard?
it was so much better the way it was before, and I'm like, oh my God.
And
what do you know about the way it was before?
And then Billy Bob...
here in slavery times?
Billy Bob is like, oh, go take care of it, Pa! And he goes outside and threatens them with the shotgun and forces them to get out. But what she's saying is kind of stupid, because, the whole racism thing, it was hardly a part of the plot at all.
Well,
like, it was basically just an undertone to the movie, more than what the movie was about.
The thing is, after the father, Halle Berry, they got to be really good friends and lovers. And
what kind of lovers?
It was a lot of graphic sex, and
really?
I don't know if that bothers somebody. They might not want to. Well, you know what I mean, in terms of a regular movie, but it still might bother somebody. So I want to warn anybody who's bothered by that. I don't care.
Well, it's
because it's fake. Okay, it's just fake.
Well,
crap.
actually, there is a rumor that they actually had sex in that scene.
Okay, I don't know, and I don't want to know. But
I don't know why Halle Berry would want to have sex with Billy Bob.
Right before that happened, he told his son, "Oh, I'm just no good anymore. I fall, and I can't answer the phone really fast, and all the stuff about his lack of being able to do things because he's older, or I don't know, has a physical problem." So he puts him, and then he comes in.
Safi, you're spoiling the movie. Why are you doing it? We're just talking about the movie.
Well, anyway,
spoiler-free.
I think some of the things that he said, even though he didn't say much,
they're
it was hardly on screen,
impactful.
made an impact where other events happened.
Yeah, not really.
I think so.
Not really.
Okay, go ahead.
Why don't you go feed Kitty? Because you're just gonna, Because go feed Kitty. If you want.
I don't have any more food. Well, yeah, I do.
But anyways, the movie was very confusing because I really don't know why it was made. I don't know the purpose. I don't know what it was supposed to accomplish. I didn't care really about the characters. The only character I cared about was Heath Ledger, actually, and so... he was literally the only character who I cared about. I didn't care about Halle Berry and her son. I didn't care about Billy Bob and his father. I don't know. Just the movie had so many over-the-top moments that were just like so over-the-top that I thought they were funny. And I'll talk about those in the spoiler. But the son, the fat son. He just. He's always got a big candy bar that he's eating, and he's like...
and ice cream bars, and he starts eating one. This isn't going to spoil anything. And she comes in, and he eats a little bit more of it, and he hides it underneath the sofa pillow.
Yeah, I thought that was
gross.
Melting
ice cream, like a cone, one of those cones with the nuts and the chocolate. I think that's what it was. And he put it under the sofa cushion. And then he had some ice cream left on his lips, and he thinks he's hiding it from her. And she knows better.
Yeah. That was...
So that's not hiding anything. That's...
And there were so many moments like that, though, that were just hilarious. And, even the serious moments, I was like, okay, you're just piling on. Like, there's a point to where it's just so over the top ridiculous that it just makes me disassociate and laugh, because it just, I can't take it seriously. I'm not invested into these characters. I'm not invested into the story. It's another one of those movies, too. It feels very modern. Even though it has a sex scene, it has multiple sex scenes that, nowadays, if they had made that, they wouldn't have even had any sex scenes, or they would have had all their clothes on like they're Muslims or something. Because nowadays they've basically reverted back to the 1300s in terms of that aspect of filmmaking. And that's sort of what this movie is known for, too, is Halle Berry has a sex scene.
Oh, really?
That's what it's known for. And so if she did it in this movie, she should have done it in Moonfall. And Moonfall was trash. And I don't know why they screwed that up. And so I don't know what the point of it is. It's another one of those modern movies where it feels like it doesn't really have a plot. It's just showing life happen, and that's not a movie. Alfred Hitchcock said that housewives, they do dishes and clean all day and do housework, and if they go to the movies, they don't want to go to the movies to see people doing housework on screen the whole movie. It's the same type of thing for this movie, where it's like, why would someone want to watch this crap? Like, why would someone care? I don't care at all. And there were so many moments in the movie where they used the same filmmaking technique over and over and over again, Safi, where they cut back and forth between characters. They would show Halle Berry, and she's doing stuff. And then they cut to Billy Bob, and they cut back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And they kept on doing that throughout the movie, and it was really irritating, because it just felt like, okay, I know your tricks, like, just, this isn't impactful at all. It's just lame. It's not doing anything at all. This cutting back and forth, like these weird montages, like the one where her husband's getting executed, and they cut back and forth between her at home with her son and then him getting executed, and they just go back and forth and back and forth. Even Safi, even during the sex scene, they're having sex and they're cutting back and forth between them having sex and then some weird shot of, like, I don't know, like someone petting a pet bird or something. I don't know. They just cut back and forth and back and forth, and it's just like, this is stupid. Like, just show the movie. Like, stop with all this cutting. Stop with this hyper cutting. Like you think you're a clever editor or something. I don't know. And Safi,
Yep.
Are you alive now?
I'm itchy.
Safi,
Mm-hmm.
did Halle Berry deserve to win Best Actress for this movie?
I guess. I don't know who she was up against. I don't remember.
Well, I
don't care.
Just why?
If she won, that's fine.
Her
I
performance.
don't know if she'll ever win again. I don't know. I don't know what other people were up, so you can't say that.
I know. You know what other movie came out in 2001?
I don't know.
Bully. And you know,
God.
and you damn well know, both those main actresses in Bully deserved to win Best Actress over Halle Berry in this movie. What did she do in this movie that was better than what they did in Bully? Nothing. And guess what? The actresses in Bully, they were a lot more nude than her. And so they deserve to win a lot more. And so I would say that this was an overrated performance. I couldn't believe how many reviews of this movie I saw where people said, "Oh my God, Halle Berry's performance was transformative. It was amazing. Oh, I don't really like this movie, but Halle Berry's performance is the best."
I don't like the movie.
And it's like, why? Why? Billy Bob gave a better performance. Peter Boyle wasn't in the movie at all. Heath Ledger gave a way better performance than her. I mean, I don't understand. She would. I mean, this is the only Oscar that this movie won. Obviously, this was back when the Oscars meant something, and the fact that this is the only award that this movie won was her performance. What a joke! Oh man, Safi, I bet I could find a million better performances than the one I saw in this movie.
Okay, I don't know.
Is it good? Is her performance anything to write home about? What's so special about this performance?
I don't know. We're not here to talk about whether or not she deserved an Oscar.
But it's
I
the
can
main.
think of another movie where it was
What?
so bad, glaring. Well, we were talking. The girl who was in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
The sister, the movie that she was in, where she got an Oscar, and everybody had a fit.
Spider-Man's
My
sister.
cousin Vinny or something. She won an
Marissa
Oscar.
Tomei?
Yeah, she won an Oscar for her performance, and everybody had a fit.
I don't know.
I don't know. I never
that's
saw the
not,
movie.
It's not relevant. It's because when people talk about this movie, I saw so many reviews. All that they said was her performance was amazing, and the rest of the movie is just throwaway trash. But it's like, what the fuck is so special about her performance in this movie? The fact that she gets naked? Is that what's so special about the performance? Because there's nothing else that she does in the whole movie. She cries? Who cares?
Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to argue about that at all.
Well, it's the thing people talk about with this movie. In fact, it would have been a Halle Berry movie if we did a Halle Berry week. It would have been her first movie.
I guess our focus is on Peter Boyle, and he was hardly in it.
My focus is on the movie itself. And the movie, it got worse and worse as it went along. It really ended on like a poor note. It kind of like just gave up at the end. It basically was like someone who wrote a story, and then at the very end they're like, who cares? And then they just wrote something random and handed it in because they had a deadline or something. I mean, I really didn't like the last act the most of this movie because it just petered out into nothingness.
Well, I wasn't sure I got it, but I can't say anything. But it's something that you think about, and you kind of come up with the answer yourself, which I really don't like. Okay,
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm just so sick of it, having to figure out what's happened, what's going on. And because they're too lazy, or maybe that's supposed to be artistic. I don't know. It's like putting an ellipsis behind a sentence. You know, the dot, you put dot dot dot, and then another dot to end it. You know, a period dot, and because you don't put in any more words, you kind of leave it like that's what it's like, and I don't like that. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, it's like, why do we keep having to write their own stories for them?
Yeah, and it's a lot worse now. I mean, that's really...
Yeah, that's like a light example.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's just, it's very mixed.
It's okay.
It's
I wouldn't
pointless.
give it
I'd never watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. It's, but it seems to me, we talked about this yesterday when we reviewed the last movie,
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team, which is a really good Peter Boyle movie.
Yeah,
because
it was really
he had an
good.
equal, it was like a team, it was like going to the Super Bowl. He had an equal effort with a team, and although it was a lot more...
and he had the funniest jokes of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, so he, it was a team effort to make the movie, and he had a big part. He was a big part of it, I think. And this one, the only thing, he was on screen very little, and when he did, about probably out of 3 out of 4 times, he said something which caused something else to happen. And it was, and that's it. But, to me, it's like, we talked about this, his role or roles. He was like a character actor, except that which is somebody who just plays a supporting role constantly, and they're usually some kind of weird, funny character, but he's also just a supporting actor, and almost not even that. And he never gets a like lead actor movie ever. It's been almost all supporting.
I know.
99%, I believe.
Really bad.
And maybe Joe, he had a little bit bigger part. And
Kinda.
Then in the Dream Team, he had a bigger part.
But then nothing else.
And that's surprising to me, because I know I keep bringing this up at this X-Files episode. If you want to see it, you should. But he has a huge part.
Clyde Bruckman's final repose.
He has a huge part. He does an excellent job, and Marco looked it up and it said he really enjoyed doing that part. And you can tell that when somebody really enjoys when they do something like that they really liked it and had fun doing it, and it meant something to them. It was more meaningful.
So what would you rate Monsters Ball in terms of food?
Well, I guess I would. Yesterday, I opened the chocolates, and I'm thinking, like, why are they're Valentine's chocolates? And I had my favorite chocolates in the chocolate box are caramels, and chocolate covered caramels. And I ate it. It just wasn't as good as I thought it looked. And it just, in effect, every time I ate a bite, it tasted worse.
She got into the commentary food.
Yeah, and I'm going to replace it today. And I'm thinking, like, why is this on sale? Because Valentine's Day is on Monday, I believe.
It's on sale?
All of it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
We should see.
It's almost cleared out.
Oh.
They're clearing it out, and they already have Easter candy up.
Oh, gross!
God.
Ew.
I don't know when Easter is this year, but I know it's not February 15th. Oh, anyway,
so you
that's
give
what
it a caramel?
that's what I'll just give it a.
What are you
well,
giving
I
it?
don't
that?
know if it exactly. It doesn't look any better or any worse than it ever did. The piece of chocolate. But when you bite into it, there's something about the flavor, and it just, a caramel's a caramel, I believe. But when you have chocolate around it, and the chocolate's changed, or maybe you've changed because you're taking the
I've changed?
The medicine that you take causes your tongue to taste things differently.
That's
and
just
makes
you.
it bad. It just... it doesn't even seem as good as last year, so you got to wonder if they've changed something in the chocolate. So anyway, that's what I gave it. How about you?
Well, it was hard because, and I say that for a lot of movies, but it was hard with this one because I didn't really have any
affinity,
strong feelings for it or against it, and so it's one of those movies where it's like, you could take it or leave it. As I said, I'd never watch it again. I don't think there's anything special about it. I think that it's one of those movies, like millions and millions of movies we've talked about, where the script is not good and the script needs to be revised again, or it just needs to be completely scrapped and written better because the script was fucking garbage.
I would look at this movie as a Billy Bob Thornton movie.
I know. I don't understand.
I would say he had the biggest part of all.
People don't even mention him when they talk about. They just talk about Halle Berry, and it's like, well, I
never used to like him either. I didn't start liking him until he did that big, huge part in Fargo.
Yeah, he was really good in Fargo.
Dedicated to his bad character.
Really good. They should have stretched that story out and had two seasons of that story with him as the bad guy. Or they bring him back in a prequel somehow. That'd be cool. But I don't know. I give this movie. I don't want to give it that because it'd be stereotypical. I was I was gonna say, it reminds me a lot of the Chili's. The first time I ever went to Chili's, I decided to get chicken and waffles, and and it was really gross. I mean, it was, but it was just okay. Like, the chicken pieces were soggy, some of them, and they were just so sad. And then the waffles were like overcooked, and they tasted just weird waffles, and the sauce was like some weird spicy maple sauce. It was very weird.
I hope they don't keep doing it. It's
no, they have that still. You can get it.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
Chicken and waffles.
You shouldn't be doing that.
It's the first time I ever had chicken and waffles.
Get that down south.
It was 2019, I think. No, it was 2020.
I think they can make it with their eyes closed.
The first time I ate at Chili's, and it was gross. And that's what this reminds me of, because it just did not come together. I did not see what was so great. What's so great about chicken and waffles? I could not see from eating the Chili's chicken and waffles.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch.
And so this movie, it really did not come together to the full vision that it wanted to. And I just don't see what the purpose of it was, and it just wasn't that good. There were a couple of things that were good here and there. You know, it's just they're not worth talking about because they're just not that great. Like, I've seen so many other movies. In fact, that serial killer book that I read, that you can watch the review of on this channel, he wrote detailed stories about people getting put to death in the electric chair, about having sex with their corpses afterwards, and about, like, the process of their bodies getting shaved, and then, like, just really gross, and talking about Ted Bundy getting electrocuted, and, you know, that was much better than this crap. So I just, you know, even the good elements are not worth mentioning. Like, I would actually say that the only thing worth mentioning, kinda, is Heath Ledger, because he did a really good job, and he was the most interesting character. But other than that, I really did not care about this movie. I don't see why it got nominated for other Oscars too.
Oh, it did.
But it didn't win anything, except for Halle Berry, which is weird, very weird. So, Safi, what are your last words for Peter Boyle Week? What can you conclude about Peter Boyle Week? Because with Richard Thomas Week, you didn't want to do that. You got angry. I made you do that, and then afterwards, you're just, all you do is talk about Richard Thomas and how great he is.
He was very good in the Waltons, and I a lot. I think really most everything that we've been able to see, they've all been made for TV movies. But back in those days, the 80s, I guess, maybe the 70s, I think the 80s. And 90s, they were really good. Early 90s, the TV movies were really good. You know, I can think of several like Stephen King movies. They were not at the theater; they were on TV.
And they're not bad; they're good.
Yeah, and so
not good anymore though.
He was, for the most part, on most of the movies that we saw him in, were very, very well done, and he was extremely good. I mean, he could do anything. He is very versatile.
Peter Boyle is not versatile. He basically either plays a nice guy or a nice bad guy. Like, he doesn't really have any range.
No, but I still think it was worthwhile to do it because we've made that discovery now. We've seen those movies.
The Dream Team. That's the only discovery.
Yeah, we've never seen that movie or any of those others except for the Frankenstein. I've seen that one a few times, and so to me it's just the way it goes.
And you know the reason why TV movies are bad nowadays, Safi?
Well, I don't know.
Because people can just make TV shows, and they can just have one season of 10 episodes, and it's basically
like
a movie
stretched out.
Because they're too lazy to make real TV shows with 24 episodes and 10 seasons. You know, they don't do that anymore. So it's basically like the TV movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
Like that Queen's Gambit thing.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy. That's a movie.
That was a good, yeah. And
And it
I
was
thought that was with a
trash.
movie. I heard Robert watching that because
Who's that?
That's my husband, and he's sitting there, and I'm thinking, God, that TV show is going on and on and on, and he was watching episode after episode after, and I didn't realize that. And but yeah, it sounded just like a movie.
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought
a
he
movie.
was watching a movie. So
'Cause they don't make TV shows anymore. It's too hard for them.
or they're crap.
They should have made a TV show starring Peter Boyle, where he plays Joe, and Joe comes to the rescue.
That would have been Archie Bunker.
Really?
Yes, Archie Bunker was a racist, and he was also just narrow-minded and about anything.
Really?
Yeah. So
What's that?
anything.
We should watch that.
No, thanks. I don't
Archie
wanna watch
Bunker.
Archie Bunker. Or it's really, what is the name of that show? God, we watched it all the time. Watched it at home.
What is it? All My Children?
No, it was a soap
Was
opera.
it the Jeffersons?
I can think of the music. I can think of the music for that.
Sanford and Sons?
No. Why are you
uh,
guessing? No. I can think of the music.
Petticoat Junction? Is that what it is? I don't know. Well, so what are your...
They're both dead.
I'll just say my last words for Peter Boyle week is that he's got trash movies, and I guess he was wasted. His potential was wasted on just being a supporting role, and he doesn't really have anything worth mentioning except for his X-Files episode. So if you want to celebrate Peter Boyle,
Well, that one movie.
watch
The Dream Team?
If you really just want to celebrate Peter Boyle all by himself, then just watch the X-Files episode, and then watch the Dream Team because it's a really good movie. Skip Monsters Ball. Watch Joe because Joe's fine, and just skip the other movies we reviewed. So that's it.
Bye, everybody. Oh, wait a minute.
God,
Sorry.
Safi.
If Marco doesn't stop griping at me, please like our video if you did like it. Press the like button, and also subscribe because we love new subscribers to contribute to the discussions in whichever way they want to. I don't care. It's your opinion. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. And if you've seen the movie, tell us why you thought it was so great, or whether you didn't like it.
Oh, you know people got manipulated by this movie's emotional manipulation.
Well, that was a long time ago. I guess the only thing emotional, well, what happens to Heath Ledger.
And you know that Bully was 1,000,000 times more emotional than this movie.
And then, well, that's because that's based on a real story.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah.
And so that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say anything more about that.
Because you know it's a masterpiece.
I don't know about that. But anyway, it's better than this.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we like new subscribers, and we always welcome discussions about what we've just watched and what else. Did you see? Has anybody seen anything else with Peter Boyle that we didn't see that you thought was good? Because let us know. Because I have no idea.
I don't
think
watch it
so.
Because I don't even want to waste my time anymore on Peter Boyle.
Yeah, we're kind of done with Peter Boyle now. We're working on the X-Files season 6. Marco has episodes of South Park.
We have lots of movies.
And new movies that have come out, which both of us or one of us, depending on what it is, will...
I'm doing tomorrow's. I'll have to watch it this afternoon and maybe review it myself.
Yeah, tomorrow we go to the Bends. My birthday trip to the Bends, I hope.
So, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.